I would like, I would like to welcome you today to our masterclass, our growth masterclass. If this is your first time, a very warm welcome to you. And if this is your second time, welcome back. Welcome terug. Weer kaya. I don't know in other languages how I can say it. So I'll quickly now, just to check where everyone is, launch a one-word check-in. Just choose how you're feeling right now. Um, okay. And then you can just quickly do the poll. And yeah, it's quite exciting today, the topic that we're going to have. And as you know, we have Nelly with us today to take us through what growth mindset is. And I'm really excited to hear what she has to share with us today and to learn, and to also learn from you, from your comments. Please feel free to just comment on the chat. About anything around the topic. I'm looking forward to hearing your views around it, and also your learnings and all of that. So yeah, I see that we have the polls going here. As for me, I am feeling quite curious about the day. Uh, it's quite it's one of the things that I really enjoy doing. So Nelly, how are you feeling? How are you feeling this afternoon?
Hello, everyone. My name is Neli, and I'm feeling curious. I'm really looking forward to today's session, and I can't wait to get started.
Amazing. Awesome. Okay, so I see that we have quite a lot of people are feeling curious about the day and excited, energetic, connected, um, anxious, worried, down, tired, and stressed. Just want to also remind you that this is, as we say in our circles, this is a safe space for us to share as open as we can be. And there is a quiz that was shared also with that. Feel free to share your results as they are, because we are a sisterhood after all. We might not be in the same sisterhood, but we are a sisterhood because we connect through these masterclasses. So yeah, so just a little bit about myself. I am one of the co-founders of Khwela, and I was there when you guys were getting orientated. So I did my small talk on showing up and all of that, which was quite exciting. So one of my main roles at Khwela is actually the circles. So your circles and also the 1 hour ones that we run, because at Khwela we believe that self-empowered women like you are change agents for their communities. And this, as I'm saying that, I'm really excited about and curious about today because you showed up. And I want you to thank yourself for showing up today. Just give yourself a pat on the back, which I'm doing right now for showing up for myself today. Okay, so not to just, go a little bit crazy here, we have Nelly today to tell us about what growth mindset is. But I'm not going to introduce Nelly. Nelly is a self-empowered woman who wants to introduce herself.
Yes, yes.
Tired. It's back.
Right. Hello, everyone. It's so really exciting for me to be here today. So as Asanda has mentioned, my name is Neli, but you can call me Neli Siwe. Neli, if you like, doesn't really matter. And I'm the head of marketing at Khwela Womxn. So I'm sure you've seen my face on our Instagram, on our socials. I'm that girl. And I'm really just known for being a voracious reader, and I'm obsessively curious about the world around me and how things work. I also believe that my highest values are curiosity and empathy, and that is why I'm really excited to get into today's lesson. I also think of myself as a lifelong learner. I'm always ready to roll up my sleeves and experiment with new ways and new ideas and new ways of doing things. And I also believe that I can learn and do everything that I really put my mind to. So yeah, that is me in a nutshell.
We're very lucky to have you, Nelly, as part of our team. I think that's one of the things that you've taught most of us about, like the what do you call it? The thirst to learn every day. So Uneli Womxn, she didn't touch on that. Womxn. I don't know if there's any Xhosas in the house, but I know there's like a mix of everyone from different, they speak different languages, which is one of the things that I really embrace about this group, the different languages, because I believe that we have such beautiful African languages. Yeah. So singabaXhosa sobabini, so that's quite something. We'll try and put in some, we're going to try and put in few closer words now and then. You're also welcome to throw in your chat which languages you speak, which would be amazing to see. Okay, so we have sent to your groups, or your moderators have sent to your groups a short survey. We have Khwela Womxn. It's amazing. Okokai. Okay, my tone is not so good. But yeah, just moving on. So we have sent you a quiz, but if you haven't done it, I can give you like 2 minutes. Oh, we have Sutus in the house. I can give you 2 minutes to quickly do it if you haven't done it. But if you've done it in the chat, just share as to what was the result of that growth mindset or fixed mindset quiz that you just did before our masterclass, just to see where we are. This is also going to help you as Neli is taking you through the growth mindset to actually, reflect as we go, so that you know what is it that you need to learn more of, or what you need to work on more. So please let us know, share as on the chat. Another reminder, it's a safe space. No one is here to judge you, where you are with your mindset. My mindset is, yeah, I kind of have like a foggy brain. Cool. So I'll just give you 2 minutes to do so. I'll just share the link here as well. There we go. If you've done it, just share what was the feedback for you. For me, my feedback was there's few things that I still need to learn on, but my mindset is on the right track. I have a little bit of a growth mindset, but there is like a few things that I still need to work on. I'll share it again, the link for the quick it was sent on your groups, so I've just shared it on the chat now. So if you can quickly do that. Yes, Dahlia shared hers. Uti, she's saying that a growth mindset is a powerhouse. Yes, it's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. What does everyone else? Oh, okay. Okay, so. Okay, I've shared the link again. Did you receive it? There we go. Yeah, so Neli, what was your feedback while everyone is doing theirs?
I am a growth mindset powerhouse. Like I think someone said the same thing here in the comments. So growth mindset.
Amazing. Amazing.
What about you? What did yours say?
Yeah, mine was a powerhouse as well. But I've learned from it that there were a few things that came up for me as I was just going through the quiz that I felt like I still needed to work on them, because I learned that also with the quiz that I shouldn't just do it once, because it depends on how I'm feeling that day. So I've been doing it like, I'll do it 3 times, because it depends on where my state of mind is at a certain time. And then sometimes when I'm feeling a little bit low, my mindset sometimes kind of goes a little bit low, and it kind of becomes really fixed.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to get into it today, but that's the thing with the growth mindset, you can easily like move from growth to fixed, and we'll get into that today.
That's why I'm saying that I'm quite excited about it. Because for me, I was like, in my head, I was like, yeah, it's pretty much about, you can either have one or the other. But I learned that, yeah, I'm not gonna take too much of what you've shared. That's why I'm really looking forward to it. And then we have Letuktula, a growth mindset powerhouse. Thank you so much, Letuktula, for sharing that. Gananelo as well has a growth mindset. You're a growth mindset. Thank you. What about everyone?
Growth mindsets, everyone, growth mindsets. Nice. Yay, Tanolet is saying, you're a growth mindset powerhouse, nothing can stop you. Yay, love that energy.
Yeah. Awesome. Growth mindset, growth mindset. Okay, so not to take anyone's time, Nelly,
Yes,
today
ma'am.
you are here just to take you through a little bit of why we're having this, what are the objectives of today. Is for you to learn what a growth mindset and the importance of having it is, just to have like a little bit of what we're going to go through today. And we're going to touch on tall poppy syndrome. So that's something that I'm going to touch on. Nelly will touch mostly on the growth mindset. And then we're going to tell you about the link between tall poppy and the growth mindset. And also with that, we're gonna like help you understand how to use these tools that we've provided to practice the growth mindset and overcome tall poppy. And lastly, there will be practical steps or tools that you can start using immediately, because as we said, that this is also something that we share in your circles. Okay, Nelly, so we've done with that. Can you please, I'm handing it to you. Take us through the growth mindset.
Right. Firstly, I am so impressed that there's so much growth mindsets going on in the chat. It's really good to see, that people are actually embracing or really practicing growth mindset. So today, I really wanted to speak about, one of my favorite topics. So a growth mindset, for any of you who are wondering what a growth mindset is, a growth mindset is, the most basic way to put it is really just seeing challenges as setbacks, and really just asking yourself, sometimes you're faced with different challenges and things, and it's so easy for us to look at challenges as challenges, like just so that, we think that, they're hard, I can't really overcome them. I don't really know what to do about it. But then the growth mindset really allows you to reframe a challenge so that we can ask ourselves, what is the opportunity? Like, how can I see this challenge as an opportunity to grow? So today, as much as I prepared this entire theory document here, I really wanted to bring it back to, my personal journey and my personal story, and how I cultivated a growth mindset. And also want you guys to remember that this is a two-way conversation, as much as we're speaking in this kind of format, but please do jump in the comments. I will move back into the comments from time to time, just to see where everyone's at, and just to see what everyone is saying. So this is a discussion, this is a conversation. We're all trying to learn from each other here. So yeah, as I explained, that a growth mindset is about seeing challenges as setbacks, and there's a difference between having a growth mindset and having a fixed mindset as well. A growth mindset essentially says, I will learn and become better at it. So my story really begins in the times of COVID, where I was really struggling with anxiety and really just being isolated and away from people, as many of you had already experienced. And I was looking for new things to do, really looking for new things to expose myself to so that I can really better learn to cope with my anxiety. I came across roller skating after seeing a whole bunch of really cool women roller skating in the park, and I thought that is something I want to try. However, being a girl or that has grown up in a Xhosa, predominantly Xhosa African household, I've always grown up in a household that, in a society in general, that told me that I cannot do certain things because I am a woman. These things are only made for certain kinds of people and not for women like me. However, being the curious and open-minded person that I've learned to become, I was like, I'm going to get myself a pair of roller skates and I'm going to learn how to roller skate. And even though people told me that it was dangerous and it was risky and that I would fall and break my leg, it's something that I was still determined to try. So when I started learning how to roller skate, I was so bad at it. Like, I stumbled, I was falling. I remember the time that I had like a really bad fall in it. But one of the things that I told myself is that I will learn and I will become better at it. On the other hand, if I had learned that, if I'd listened to the people that I grew up with, if I'd listened to what I was told back then as a child, people telling me that I can't do this thing, or these kinds of things are not meant for people like us and so forth, I don't think I would ever have learned how to roller skate. And this is where the fixed mindset comes in, because the fixed mindset, people with a fixed mindset often say, I can't do this, this is too hard, while a growth mindset says, I can improve my skill if I put in the effort. And that was my attitude. I knew that I could become better at roller skating if I put in the effort. So what's also quite interesting or really beautiful about the growth mindset is that you can move in and out of it. It's not about being born with a growth mindset. It's something that you can learn and you can practice, like any other skill you can practice, and you can become better at it. And a lot of it really starts within your mindset. Okay, so I'm just checking the comments to see how everyone's doing, and there aren't any comments as yet. Please do feel free to jump in. And then this was kind of my model. So this is called the learning zone, or the learning model. And this is basically how we learn new things. And in this learning model, this is how I framed and looked at my journey with roller skating. And this could be anything. It could be, for example, you want to progress in your career and you want to learn a new skill so that you can get a promotion, or you want to learn a new skill so you can get a new job, or you want to pass a learner's test, or you want to pass your driver's license test, or school test, whatever. It could be anything, and this can be applied to any different circumstance. And where I really started was my comfort zone. I sat at home and I felt like I saw these women, like they're roller skating and they're looking so amazing, and I knew that this is something that I would love to try. However, I will not lie and say that there weren't times when I was fearful, listening to all the voices, listening to everyone, what I was told as a child, people telling me that I will never really succeed. And to be honest, this is a safe space. Like, this comfort zone is a low risk space. There's no reward. I'm just sitting and I'm just looking and admiring these people from afar. And I could have not, gone out there and actually made the purchase for the roller skates and actually learning it by myself. So that is the learning space. And then when I first got my pair of roller skates, I remember I started off in my room and I fell like flat on my bum on the first day. And it was so painful. And it was just like, I was just asking myself, like, why did I even do this? And then I moved out, I went into my parking lot, and then, I started like roller skating in my parking lot, and still I was just terrible at it. And this is the space where I was finding excuses. I was asking myself, like, why did I even think about this? This is such a bad idea. And it was also affected by other people's opinions. So one time I sent a friend of mine a picture of me trying out to roller skate for the first time. And he just laughed and is like, what are you doing? You'll never be good at this. And it was a space where I felt very low in my confidence. And I was like, I'll never get to where I really want to be. And you're saying, yeah, I had a fixed mindset for most of my life. I was told that you either got it or you don't. Only when I challenged that idea as I got older did my life really improve. I learned about the different mindsets, and just being aware of what the differences was between growth mindset and a fixed mindset was such a game changer. Knowledge is power. Absolutely, Angela. Absolutely. When you actually learn about, what the differences is as well. And I think, like, had I not put myself in the situation, I probably would not have learned these new things about myself. And that is what makes a growth mindset so powerful, is because you're learning about yourself in the process. And then I entered into the learning zone. And this was where I was starting to become better at the skill. I was starting to be able to balance more on the skates. I was able to solve problems in terms of like the technique and how I do certain things. I was able to move or to skate with still falling, but minimal falls. And that means I'm facing challenges and really getting out of my comfort zone. And then lastly, that is the growth. And I entered the growth zone. And this is where I set new challenges. Started telling myself, okay, now that I can skate in my parking lot, I'm now able to go out and skate at a bigger park, and also just setting more living out my dreams of wanting to become a roller skater and conquering those objectives and really finding the purpose. And ultimately, just changing my view. And the amazing thing about this is that a growth mindset does not only teach you about the certain skill that you want to learn, but also you learn life skills, like you learn success skills, you learn skills that, this is a simple example of just learning how to roller skate, but these are also the kinds of skills that will carry you into a job where you can think back like, oh, I actually did this thing, so surely I would be able to do this other thing, so that's the beauty about having a growth mindset. Okay, just 1 second. So Asanda, before I actually continue into my last slide, I'd like to know about your growth mindset or fixed mindset experiences. Have you ever been in a situation where you experienced a growth mindset or a fixed mindset for that matter, and what happened and how did that change you?
Well, of course, thank you so much. That was really insightful. I was just looking at the whole learning model that you were sharing, and I was like saying to myself as you were sharing, oh my God, it is okay to be in my comfort zone as long as I'm actually looking forward to growing through it, like coming out of it, not just staying there, but to accept when I'm in it, but with the hope that I can grow and, explore. So thank you for sharing that. That was really insightful. So my experience actually with growth mindset, I would say it's like as everyone was sharing there, like it's something that I learned recently that is really important, not just for work and other things, but also for personal life, for me to be able to actually learn from others. For example, I used to work at once. There I was working, and I was working a little bit longer, and then new people would join, just because I had the fixed mindset of saying, I've worked here longer than you and I know how things work. Someone will bring in an idea, hey, how about, for example, we change the computer from this direction to this direction. I'm like, no, this is how things have always been done. I'm not going to listen to what you have to say. You don't know how we do things here. But through those experiences now, when I'm looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I had such a fixed mindset. I could have actually said, you know what, I'm open to ideas. What do you have to say? And what is it that I'm going to learn from what you're saying? For me, that's a growth mindset. Being curious about what other people have to say and actually listening to understand what they say, not just listening to just shut them down and say, no, 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 no. I'm not going to listen to what you're saying. I'm going to be fixed in my own ways of doing things because, what's the point? It's more for me saying, what's the point of learning? Even yesterday, I had a conversation with my mom. Then I learned that she's old, so she's stuck in her own ways. And I was like, she has such a growth, like a fixed mindset. And it's a journey. It was a journey for me as well, because it takes a long time to get out of that comfort zone and face the fears and actually be in that learning zone. For her, she's always saying, that's wrong. That's not how we always did things. I'm not going to listen to you. And I was like, okay, this is a fixed mindset that we're talking about. So, like, it takes a lot of work. That's one of the biggest learnings that I've taken every day. It's not like something that I'm going to do like a tattoo today and then it's done, but it's like literally every day. It's like a work. It's like going to work on a daily basis. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I completely resonated with what you said, especially when you said, with the example that you made about your mother and still looking at, like, even when you said, when you used to work at once, like you knew that there is a certain way of doing things, and you, because you knew, I know how to do this, I've been doing it for a very long time, this is my comfort zone, this is my space, therefore another person will not be able to tell me anything different. And I feel like in my experience as well, like, being raised in a Xhosa household with certain traditions and how things have always been done, I find that I often struggle to speak to my elders about certain issues, because they'll tell me, you cannot tell me anything, I'm an elder. My mom likes to say, I was where you were, I was whatever, like I was 16 once, I was also a teenager once, so you cannot tell me anything, I've walked this path way before you. And that's just, shows how people, she's been stuck in her ways, and this is the way she was brought up, and this is the way she was raised, but it does not mean that she's not able to move to a place of like a growth mindset. And I think that's the beauty of it. Here, I'll just read some comments as well. Wow, these are some really, really powerful comments here. Nandi saying, I had a fixed mindset for most of my life, and I would attest to it. It really did waste my time in life. Yep. The imposter syndrome is one of the things I struggle with most, and that needs to be conquered also for one to get to move into the other zones. Absolutely. Poppy saying, this is my first time being in the meeting, very informative, I'm grateful. I for one have been struggling with a fixed mindset. Now I'm realizing that being in fear is holding me back one step at a time. Absolutely, be open to new ideas. Wow, you guys, there's so much gems coming through in the comment section, and I must agree with all of you. A growth mindset, you do feel like you are wasting time, but it's also a journey, as Asanda has mentioned. It is something that takes time. You need to practice it. It's like flexing a muscle. It's just like that. You need to continuously work on it so that we can move from the comfort zone into the growth zone. Okay, awesome. So this is my mantra, and I love to whenever I am faced with a challenging circumstance or a situation, I always tell myself, I always remember that the obstacle is the way, the challenge is the path. Like through the challenges, through the setbacks, that is where I get my strength from, because it's when you move through those challenges, that's the only way you'll know what you're made of, basically. And what I like to explain this is that developing a growth mindset is important, because it helps you overcome these challenges, and it helps you to see setbacks as opportunities, and that makes you unstoppable. It builds character, and it also makes you resilient. Like once you're able to really see something through, like as difficult and as challenging as it might be, like there's a common saying that says that diamonds are created from pressure, like when we, and of course, like to take care of yourself is crucial, but there are moments where you're going to have to challenge yourself to just stretch yourself a little bit further, and you will just start feeling different in yourself, that you will be, it will make you feel very unstoppable. So yeah, that is my lesson for today, and I'm sure that, I hope rather, that you have gained something from it, and I hope that with whatever it is that you will be going through, or a lot of whatever it is that you're going through at the moment, that you will take what you want from these lessons today and apply it in real life, because that's really where the power of it lies, when we can apply it into real life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nelly. That was really, really, really insightful. And yeah, just talking about growth mindset, and we've touched on a lot on how our parents used to, like, how everything has been done, always been done. So like that kind of ties into what I want to talk about today, like just to share, to connect, to link it, for example, to a growth mindset, as to why most of us, we have a fixed mindset, and how we can move on from having that fixed mindset to having like a growth mindset. So I've learned this recently, a tall poppy syndrome. So it's like, it's more like something that they came up, the wording, it's something that they came up with in Australia. So where you see those, as you see in the pictures, two like poppies that are growing. I think we have Poppy also on the call. Her name is Poppy. But Poppy, we're not talking about you, but we're talking about the actual flower. Where there's two flowers growing, everything doesn't grow at the same time. So everything has its own journey, as we all here are going through our own journey. But tall poppy syndrome is when we are like, have a distaste for any kind of success of others, when we're trying to cut down others because we feel like, you shouldn't be succeeding, I should be there, why not me? So it's like that poor or lack of mindset. It's a poor, like that mindset that doesn't say, I'm going to learn from Poppy, for example, but it's like, Poppy cannot succeed, I should be succeeding as well. So whenever Poppy shares anything exciting, I'm going to bring it down. As Kosen, we call it ujongelana phansi, so looking down on others. So whenever someone is succeeding, for example, in class or at work, there's like so much that we're gonna put into that. I can say she didn't. We're not gonna give each other credit for it. We're just gonna say, she didn't do that. Someone did it for her, or she's gonna fail. It's not gonna end well. There's also that saying now with Umjolo, it's gonna end in tears. So like there's always those kind of comments which bring others down. So a little bit of my experience with this topic. Tall Poppy or Ujongela Panti has been part of my life since birth. I grew up in a very like poor environment, not just like, finances, or we lacked basic resources to survive, but that poor mindset that my great grandparents were like, that was engraved in their minds, which they passed down to their generations, because that's how we learn. Also, they pass down certain things. So I was told that smart people, or intelligent people, or even curious people, they think that they're better than everyone else, and that I must strive not to be like them, and be like the family that never really moves from one point to another, but just stuck in our own ways of doing things. To a point that my dad's side of family is actually it's where I actually experience a lot of tall poppy syndrome. Where like most of my cousins would just like pull me down or cut me down whenever I succeed in something. It can be at school, or it can be with a new job, or whatever. Didn't give my father an opportunity to actually celebrate my small wins. And they would make it out to be this whole thingy of competition, and saying kids should be doing things the same way. This one cannot really succeed. So there was that thing that we all had to be here. No one can just grow and be like this. It's not good. And also constantly like being reminded, oh, you're gonna end up in a ditch with your curiosity to explore beyond what your parents don't know. Tinas, we know this, so you also should know this. Like you can't, for example, I remember when I went on a road trip and I did bungee jumping, and I was telling my cousins, they were like, yeah, that's white people shit. And then I was like, but it's not. It's like another way of me facing my fears. So it's not white people stuff, but it's an experience that's going to help me see the world differently. So it's still the same thing that I experience whenever I go home. They still say, "Yeah, this is not your work." So I can't even share any wins. I can't share certain things because they're going to give the credit to someone else because I don't, for some reason, I don't deserve to be in that space. So it's top up is something that's been holding me back even like today. As I'm saying that I can't really share anything with my family because there's always that belittling of my hard work, either even with other people. There's always those comments. So and so is succeeding. They must have a snake or a rat in the back that they're raising. That's why they have all this money. Once the cat or the snake or the rat, whatever, dies, they're gonna lose all that wealth. But that person actually really worked hard to get themselves where they're at. Yeah, so it's like still holding me back now, but I strongly believe that it's also like what's holding a lot of women and men in our communities from pursuing their dreams. We all have different dreams. We see the world totally different. And this is like holding us back from actually reaching or pursuing those dreams. And there's also this constant pressure to do things according to how a family sees you, like that sees you best. As Nelly was saying, I was once 16, so this is how you're gonna do it. But now you're like, I'm 16, but I kind of have a different way of wanting to do things. Um, and this is like one of the things I've learned recently that people end up doing this whole having this disease of people pleasing and also ending up with like mental illnesses such as like anxiety, depression, because you feel like this is your desire, but somehow you have to follow these steps. And then when I was looking at like the damaging effects of it from my side of things and from my community is that it creates like a community that becomes stagnant. Nothing changes. And whenever we don't succeed in life, we point like fingers at our family members, at our parents, at the government. So there's never like a finger pointed back at us and say, what is it that I've done? What is it I can just celebrate and say, this has been my life and this is what I've done so far. But it's easy to just point out and no one wants to any change. They don't want to bring any change into their lives. And also produces people who are scared of succeeding. So there's that fear of failure. We would like go into something, but like we wouldn't really put ourselves like 100% into it because we're scared that it's not going to succeed. Also, it's been like a mindset that we were introduced to growing up that it won't work out. It's for, as Nelly was saying, it's for a certain group of people. It's not for women. You can never be, I don't know, a photographer because you're a woman. You can never drive a truck. I don't know. Yeah. So there's like that fear now of not of things not working out. And it also creates a lot of followers of the society's manual or conformist. So where we have to follow. My dad was, for example, my dad is he was a manager of a restaurant. My brother felt like he had to follow in those steps because in our family, that's where we go. We have to be in this way. If you want to stray, you're not doing things right. So we end up following each other because if you come out of it, you're gonna get cut down because you can't be succeeding or trying out something new. So you might be asking yourself, why are we talking about this today? So I looked at like self-awareness around the topic. So I might be talking about my family and friends and whatsoever, but self-awareness is key as well around the topic. So bringing like self-awareness around the syndrome, it allows you to be mindful of what you're doing and allows you to challenge your own mindset and those of others. So being able to challenge your own mindset around a time when, for example, you're cutting someone down. Someone is like posting something on social media and you're like, yeah, it's not going to end well, it's going to end in tears. Or I'm not going to like it because I don't think I really like you. Instead of just sharing and liking that person's post and actually point to validating their success, allow people to actually succeed and just, support each other and not say, Uneli is doing so well, so you know what, I'm not going to be one of the people that actually help her, I don't know, like put her name out there. I'm not going to assist in that. So it allows people like who are suffering from being treated bad to understand that their success is valid. Your success is valid. Whatever you're doing with your life right now, it is valid, whatever you're doing. It's not because you have a rat. I'm pretty sure none of us have a rat or a snake somewhere, unless nearly you have one lying around, um, for your success. So it's like to say that your success is valid, and it's not because of anything. It's because of the hard work, not because you don't deserve it or use some sort of, yeah, as I've said, voodoo to get where you are. And also, we want to change your mindset. As I've said, that a tall poppy comes from a fixed mindset. So we want to change our mindset from a tall poppy, which is a fixed mindset, to a growth mindset, so that we can learn from each other's success rather than be threatened by them. Especially as women, that's one of the biggest things that I've learned as women, that we tend to bring each other down. And through our sisterhoods as well, Khwela, we say we're not here to judge each other, but we're here to build each other. We're not threatened by the fact that you are succeeding, but we're celebrating the fact that you are getting where you want to be, in life. Um, yeah, and then I'm just looking here. Someone was sharing some of these few comments. Angela, okay, I think so much what's going on. Yeah, there's thank you. And then I think there is like princess. Just because people are successful doesn't mean that they are using a snake or something. These people are work hard for their successes. This mentality needs to stop. Princess, you're right on point. It really, really needs to stop. It's something that maybe even we need to post more about. I don't know what we can do about it, but it needs to stop. That someone is actually really working hard. And then Tepiso shared, same here, I lived all my life under depression, anxiety, because I had to be what my mom wanted me to be. I had no one to say well done or how was school. I now know that I'm my own responsibility and nothing or anyone should hold me back. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, thank you so much for these comments. People pleasing is a pit, especially for families. I mean, if they reject you, then how would the rest of your world receive or accept you? And it's only when we are now older we realize that how much we've held ourselves back because of that. But now we move. Yes, yes, now we move. Erika, we actually, I was talking to a friend of mine about changing those generational cycles and saying, we used to do things this way. Now we're going to do things this way. So as we're chatting now about these kind of things, I want you to just write in the chat the time that you were called names because you wanted to succeed or wanted to explore a different thing. Like what were those names that people labeled you as at a time that you wanted to really explore? Poppy said, it's said not to have a family that supports you even in your decisions. I always want you to follow what they want for you. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Angela is sharing now, I heard this one a lot. She thinks she's better than us. Oh yeah, that's one. For me, my family, whenever I call them, they'll be like, oh, brush up your English. Asanda's gonna speak to you in English, so we don't speak English. I'm like, they'll be like, she thinks that she's white. So it's just like one of those. Nelly, what is like what was it that when you wanted to explore something new, how were you labeled in that?
Yeah, like I said here in the comments, I was called a coconut. I was called a coconut, and especially like as you mentioned, Asanda, yeah, it's exactly that. Like you're trying to be someone that you're not. You're a black person, but you think you're white, or things like that. And I was teased for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one. I think that's a Orata di Lolo.
Ratadilo.
Light things. I think that one is a big one. And also, especially Xhosa and Ulinda, is saying that I'm boring and the Atanda Ojibata. That was also like one for me. Yeah, Zibata, like you were so forward. Um, and then Utiamo is like, I wanted to learn French in high school when we were given the opportunity to study Afrikaans or French. I was called snobbish for wanting to learn French. Exactly. Because we want to be different or to do things differently, it's like there's always a label for that. I was once beaten up at school by a group of girls because they said I think I'm better than them because I passed all my subjects. Thank you, Nandi, for sharing that. Just think of that. Like, it's quite sad that because you're passing all your subjects, people feel like there's a need for you to, to bring you down because of that. I was called, I think I'm better when I went to university. Yeah, when we say that that mindset needs to stop, it does needs to stop, because going to university or even passing your anything that you want to do, I don't think we should be viewing it as a like that. Also, Erica is saying that she was called Umlungu. Yeah, Erica, I'm one of the people that are called Umlungu. Oh, I was called Madam, I think I'm better. Yes. Oh, Orata Tipuku. Washanya. Oi, I feel
Shiny.
you. I was there. Thank you so much for sharing those. Miss English period. My God.
Mm.
You see, all of these are actually what, for some reason, I don't know where they come from, but it's because, like one of the things that I've learned recently is because they don't know, it's unknown to them. So because it's unknown and you're wanting to explore the darkness, I'll just call it, or the unknown, it's easy to just bring each other down because we're like, oh, you're going to the unknown. I've been wanting to go to the unknown, but nope, you're not gonna go before I do. That's how I view it. Okay, so today, one thing that I'm gonna leave you with. Oh, come on. So now for you, I want you to just reflect. I'll share this on your, also with your moderators to have, even if you want to write it down in your journals, whatsoever, as a way of reflecting for yourself. I like to call it check yourself before you wreck yourself. So questions that you can ask yourself to see whether you have the tall poppy mindset sometimes. Are you celebrating your all small wins and those of others? Am I doing this work, relationship or studying because it makes me happy or because I was told to do it by others around me? Do I easily look down on others for being successful and try to make them feel bad after about accomplishing something because I feel that I deserve what they have accomplished? This is just for you to go through it, to see where you are when it comes to 12 poppy or your even your growth mindset. Do I constantly ask myself when others are succeeding, why not me, instead of being happy for them? So I think this is also like a big one. Do I say in my head, do I say in my head about other success, it won't end well, it would end in tears? Same, like everything's gonna end in tears, or it's not theirs. Someone must have helped them. They have a sugar daddy, so it belong to the white person they're working with. They have a rat or a snake in the backyard helping them to be successful. So this is just for you to reflect on it, to see where you're standing with your top up and how you can actually move forward from that, like how you can challenge yourself and be able to challenge others around you to move forward from saying, it belongs to someone else. Because I've had this before many times with Khwela work. Whenever people look at Khwela, it's not yours, it belongs to the other white person that you're working with. And at first, I would allow that to just, overwhelm me. But now I've learned that it's that mindset, it's how they see things. And the only way that I can do is to actually correct them or teach them. Um, yeah, so that was one of the things that was like the topic that I wanted to share with you, or my experience around pop poppy. But I would like to quickly give it back to you, Nelly,
Mm.
as to what is it that you think for us to move forward from a fixed mindset and to have a growth mindset, and also, when it comes to tall poppy, which is quite really similar to having a growth or fixed mindset. What are the tools would you say that we need to actually use to move forward from this?
Yeah, but before I continue though, like I just love that comment section, like just to see all of these names that we have been called, like when we're trying to just become better versions of ourselves. And I think for myself, it was just good to read those comments and to see, okay, that I'm not alone, that there are people that have gone through that as well. So that makes me feel it makes me feel okay. Like it makes me feel okay that I'm not alone. So tools to develop a growth mindset. I'd say, like for myself, it's always been to be brave and accept that I will never be perfect. I know that sounds really harsh. Even just hearing myself saying that as someone that is often prone to perfectionism, I feel that you'll never be perfect. That's the reality. Like you will never be perfect at anything, and everything is just about constantly learning to do what your best is. And I think bravery has been like the most important thing for me there as well, just to tell myself that, okay, you know, I want to do this thing. How am I going to do it? And actually being brave, because that takes a lot of bravery. Like Asanda, you have just taken us through the tall poppy lesson, and those words, man, like to actually be able to rise even above that, like even above those like words that are really like, I'm laughing about it now. And that's just because I'm like, oh wow, like, you know, I'm not alone. But if I were to think about that time where those people were telling me these things, it took a lot of bravery for me to actually be where I am right now. And also the power of reading and maintaining an open mind. I think I cannot overemphasize this enough. I think it's so, so crucial. And oftentimes I know like some people maybe don't like reading, but there are so many different resources and ways that we can consume good educational, transformational content, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts. Geez, there's just so many different ways. Reading articles on Medium. There's just so many ways. So, and I feel like reading or consuming content that really helps us grow is one of the ways that we can develop a growth mindset, and to just keep an open mind. Like when someone is doing something that you may not be familiar with, and it often happens from time to time. Like I said, we move from growth mindset to fixed mindset sometimes when things are foreign to us, or when things are unusual to us. People usually have a tendency, and myself included, to ridicule that thing, you know. And instead what we should be doing is just maintaining an open mind and seeing, what can I actually learn from this? What is this thing, you know, what I'm not used to this, so how can I learn about it? And then staying curious and becoming a self-directed learner, also super, super important, like to just keep asking why, like ask why, you know. And to become a self-directed learner, and a self-directed learner really means to take your learning into your own hands. Like if there's something that you want to learn, there's really no reason for you to wait until you get into a 4-year degree to learn something new. Like if there's something that you want to learn, we have Google. We live in an age of Google. There's countless amounts of free resources. Even we at Khwela also have free resources, as you know, where you can access these things and take your learning into your own hands and really take the time to learn. And also, lastly, celebrating your own wins and that of others. I think Asanda touched on this quite broadly earlier, which she's speaking about celebrate your own wins, celebrate the wins of others. Like when you promote a friend's side hustle on Instagram, does not take anything away from you, you know. In fact, it makes you become a better person, you know. So take those opportunities to celebrate other people, and be kind, like be kind as well, like celebrate people, celebrate your own wins. Don't be too hard on yourself. You have shown up here today. That in itself is a major step, and it's something to be proud of. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nelly. That was beautiful. Thank you. Um, yeah, and there's like a few comments here. You can't please everyone, otherwise you're going to make yourself unhappy. We'll always talk. They say in Jaikongo, a dog barks at a moving car, not a stagnant car. You never see a dog going to a crab car at the bottom there and just bark at it. That's really impossible. Thank you so much, Nelly, for giving us those tips and tools. And I like the one that says, stay curious and become a self-directed learner. I think that's something we missed out on even in school. We're not given that space, was just like a teacher telling us what to do. So the curiosity was kind of limited. But now we have that opportunity, and we have the tools, women, to actually, you know, learn more and to actually celebrate others as we part of this as well. Part of this program is to actually continue doing that for each other, pushing each other and growing from learning from each other's experiences. Thank you so much, Neli, for that. And I would like to thank everyone for showing up today. It was quite a really interactive, and I really enjoyed it. I've learned so much from your comments and from you, Nelly. Yeah, but we have like 5 more minutes. I would like to open that up for everyone who have any comments, any questions, any concerns, anything that you have, please just quickly drop any questions or whatever in the chat, and then we can answer those for the 5 minutes that we have left. Yeah, once again, thank you so much for showing up today. Yeah, we can live on other people's expectations. True, typical. Thank you, Ange. Thank you. Um, there's actually, as we have 5 more minutes, I realized that there's one more poll that we didn't do just to get everyone where they're at right now. Like one word checkout. Yeah. How are we feeling right now? Amazing. Thank you for your guys. Yeah, just can you fill in the poll for me, please? Thank you. Poppy, thanks. Thank you, Neli and Ayanda. I see that you have a autocorrect there. Ayanda from Asanda. No questions. I'm grateful for today's reminder that we need to be brave and push through so we may grow. Thank you for sharing that, Erica. Jessica is saying, first time attending you guys are amazing. I feel so inspired. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. Boucher is no question. I just want to say thank you for sharing, Neli and Asanda. It was really insightful. Thank you so much for that. Yep.
Asanda, I don't know if we have like any more time, but I would really love to have this one question by Nokolo. And she's asking, she says she's struggling to recognize wins or small wins. And she'd like some clarity or examples on what, like how to recognize wins. Do you have an experience share?
That we do have like 2 more minutes. Thank you so much, Nokolo, for that question. Beautiful question. One of the things that I've learned with small wins actually was, like, for me, I used to think that I need to, for example, do a big task and then celebrate that small win. But now one of the things that I've started doing in my life is being grateful, like literally every day. Like what I do, like that's a small win for me. If I get out of bed, I say thank you and I celebrate that small win. And then if I set myself a task for the day, for example, to run this masterclass or even to put something on my calendar, I celebrate that small win. I don't say, yeah, it's just small, it's fine, I'll just move on. But every little thing that I feel like contributes towards something bigger, I celebrate it. So I have this weird thing that most people, when I tell them about it, they laugh at it. I usually give myself a pat on the back and say, who's a good girl? You are a good girl, as if I'm a dog. And it really, really makes me feel good because I am really starting with myself and saying, I did this and it's amazing, well done. Before I wait for someone else to tell me, oh, you did so great. But I say to myself, well done, girl. And then I move on. So those small wins, they start like with small things, such as waking up in the morning and brushing your teeth and drinking a bottle of like 2 liters of water. those are the small wins. It's like I've learned that it's like just small things. They build up into something else because now I'm able to celebrate things that are way bigger because I'm started with small things. But I was taught that no, you need to celebrate when you're done with university. I was like, but if I pass an assessment in class, that's a win. I can go and celebrate that. I can buy myself a lollipop. You know, I take myself for walks sometimes if I've done a big thing. Take myself for a walk, buy myself a lollipop, write myself a letter, and be like, "Oh, who's this gorgeous girl?" Whatsoever. Like I do all weird stuff, but they make me feel good about myself. So that's how I celebrate my small wins. Nelly, do you have any?
Very quickly, write it down, record it. Like whenever there's something that you feel it's a win for you, write it down.
Yeah, I think that's also very powerful. The power of reflection, reflecting on each and every day, even if it was crappy, but I always find one thing I'm grateful for from that crappy day. Okay. All right, so let's just share the polls of how everyone feels. One word check out. We have most people, they feel open, excited, energetic, confident, connected, anxious, and then tired, stressed. We don't have anyone feeling stressed anymore, which is amazing to see. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. And I saw there was a hand up. I don't know who was that before we close. Nandi, would you like to share something on the chat, Nandi? Before we close, Nandi? Oh, is it possible to actually show the hand of the person? Oh, she was gonna answer Makolo's question. Can you please share like how you celebrate small wins? Okay. Yeah, Nelly, do you have any other thing would you like to share? Comments?
Yeah, like I think I really enjoyed this masterclass today. I was actually quite nervous at the beginning, but I do feel so connected, and I think I personally like learned so much from everyone here today. So thank you so much, guys, for showing up again. It was really useful.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Nelly. And thank you everyone for showing up for yourself today. And thank you for being here and looking forward to connecting with you more. Um, yeah, and there will be a survey that you will get because we want to hear from you how we can improve as we go. That growth mindset. We want to learn how we can change things so that we don't stay the same. So thank you so much. Please do so as soon as we're done. I think it should go straight to you as soon as you leave the meeting. And that is it from my side. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.